everybody. I'm gonna head up the Adams Cabin Trail today, up here out of Layton, Utah. It's a pretty steep climb from what I hear. I probably will hit snow, so I may not make it all the way to the cabin, but we're gonna give it a shot. We'll check in with you a little bit later.
Well, I'm up the first set of switchbacks up from the trailhead, and now we're joining up with the Vaudeville Shoreline Trail there, where that couple's coming down from. Off to the right, we take you up Adams Canyon. I'm going to go up to the Adams Cabin Trail, which goes straight up that hill right there, so, and continues up on that ridgeline up there. Well, here's my first look into Adams Canyon, down there. Of course, we've got a wonderful view of the valley down here today. It's really clear. I mean, you can see all the way across. Here's Ferry Peak on Antelope Island, straight across there. Stansbury Mountains in the back. There's the Ochre Mountains. Well, the description on alltrails.com wasn't too far off the mark. They said it was steep. Boy, it's not. They're not kidding. It's a pretty steep trail. The views are definitely worth it, but it's definitely steep. So we're gonna head on up over there. Trail goes on up over that rock outcropping up there, and then you can see it come out on the front of the shoulder there. I think I got about 3 miles to go to the cabin. We'll see how it does. Having a look at the snow up there. Looks like there's quite a bit of snow up high, but I'm not sure how high the cabin is. And then maybe I'll cut off and see if I can get up to Thurston, but I think that's probably outside of my reach today. Getting a late start here. Well, it looks like the trail's starting to turn north away from Adams Canyon a little bit now. You can see one of the waterfalls down there in Adams Canyon. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it from up in here. I'm not sure whether that's where the head of Adams Canyon is. I'm thinking it's probably right over that ridge right there, but I've never been all the way up, just part way up last fall. So the trail's definitely headed off to the north now. This is a pretty nice section. Well, I hit my first snow at 7,083 feet. Of course, this is a north-facing slope, so that's kind of to be expected. A fair amount of snow in here. But I'm cutting off here to the right, so I won't have to go through it. As soon as I get up and around that corner, and then I have to make a choice. Do I continue on to the Adams Canyon, or cabin, or do I make an attempt at Thurston Peak, which it's right behind this point right here. I'm not sure just how far it is. I'm thinking it's probably a couple miles. I might make a stab at it. We'll see how I feel when I get up to the junction. Well, I've reached the intersection of the Adams Cabin Trail and the spur going off to Thurston Peak. I think I'm going to try for Thurston Peak. That's one of the ones that's on my bucket list for this year, and it's only like 1.5 miles from here, so I think I'm going to give it a shot. I'm not sure exactly if it goes up over to the left of that rock outcropping or to the right, but it makes its way up over that, and Thurston Peak's behind there, I believe. So we're going to head on up. Well, I reached the saddle coming up from Adams Canyon, which is over here. Those tracks you can see on that ridge, that's the trail over to the cabin, I believe. And it's going to be the first place I'm going to have to cross the snowfield, so I'm going to go right up there, and I'm thinking that the trail goes to the right of those rocks. I don't know. We're going to find out. It could be interesting. Luckily enough, someone has been nice enough to mark the trail with ribbons, So it's been pretty easy to follow, even though it's not a very well established trail. We'll check in a while. Well, this is getting too sketchy for me. If I go right around the corner here, I get on the other side of this drift. But I don't like the exposure here. That's a long slide down there. I'm not prepared for that. So I'm going to turn around, head back down, and I think I'll maybe go over to the cabin. This is a little too much for me. Well, this is as high as I'm going today. It's 8,070 feet. So I'm going to head back down to the junction with the Adams Cabin trail, and I'm going to cut across to the trail of the cabin if the snowfield doesn't look too bad there. This was a pretty steep climb through here. You can see this if I can get down there. Came up from the saddle down there, and of course that's Adams Canyon down there. And of course the view from up here is pretty spectacular. You can see clear down to the end of Salt Lake Valley. Pretty impressive. Well, I think this is it for today. You can see tracks up there where people, I think that's probably where the trail goes. I know it does wind up around there. It goes up over that, behind that knob up there to the left, and then comes down to the cabin, which sits on the other side of that ridge there. But I don't feel comfortable. The snow is really soft. I'm post-holing a lot, and I just don't feel comfortable about doing that. I guess I'm a big chicken, but that looks like another big slide. If I were to go down that, that would not be good. I have my ice axe with me, but I haven't had a chance to practice with it yet, so I think I'd be stupid to go over there, especially where I'm solo here today. So I guess that's it. We'll have to shoot for the Adams Cabin, maybe in a month or so. Well, I'm about halfway down, and I've been looking for a place to take a rest, get my spikes off, tighten my shoes, my boot laces, get something to eat and drink. Found this beautiful little spot here in the junipers. So we're going to have a little bit of licorice and probably some string cheese. And about ready to finish off that bottle of water and start on another one. Got the spikes off finally. I'd like to leave them on. They had great traction even when there's not snow and stuff, but I was worried about wearing them out. So we'll rest here a little bit and then we'll head the rest of the way down.